What are some of the differences that you've noticed between LiveJasmin and other campsites?
I would say like kind of the first one is this is the only one that I I've paid for credits to use to be in private shows. Um, I haven't done that on others. In free chat with like girls on other sites, they're just like they're more liberal. Girls on Jasmine, they're not. And so I was just like, all right, if I have to pay to get the best experience with girls on Jasmine, I'll just do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you feel like paying for the experience on Jasmine is worth it and you don't really feel like that with other sites?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Very cool. Do you have a favorite like connection-based memory on LiveJasmin?
With one of my favorite girls, I said to her yesterday, I felt really bad for you because you had to play therapist with that guy, like whoever he was. Uh, and that like really gave me an understanding of how hard it is to do your job.
Mm. And what did she say to that?
She was very kind. She was like, you know, like we've all got to be happy, and like, you know, whatever it takes, like for me to give people like the best experience, like I got to do that, you know. So it was an interesting learning experience for me about people who work in the adult industry, like how hard their job is.
Do you feel like it expanded your understanding maybe of what it is that they're doing? Like, because it sounds like to me what she basically said is she views her job as making someone happy and comfortable. And that is obviously more than sexual content.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Do you feel like any of the models on LiveJasmin have brought happiness to your life outside of the flirty content?
Um, yeah, I would say so. I would say so. Yeah, yeah.
Do you have a favorite model on Jasmine?
Uh, yeah, I would say I have like, I don't know, I guess like a top five.
What is it about those models that you like so much? Like, what do they make you feel?
I would say one is just like, I guess like I'm just in lust with her. I don't think there's like another way to say it. Like, I don't think I've seen like many women like as attractive as her, at least in my opinion. And so, yeah, I guess that's the reason why.
So, beauty is something that
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
Sure.
they're really bringing to your life, which obviously we all love beauty. Like, that brings a lot of joy, you know?
Absolutely. Sure.
How much time would you say you spend on Jasmine a week?
Um, I guess on one hand, you could say like an unhealthy amount because like uh like I had a favorite like I had like just like pretty much just one favorite model that like I just like I was pretty much obsessed with her. But it was like in lust, you know, it wasn't like I guess anything weird. But I was just like waiting for her to be on free chat for a long time. I would say like percentage wise, sometimes some weeks it would be like 75, 85% minimum. Um, other weeks it would be like 50%. I guess it just depends on like, you know, what was happening in my life. Because college is stressful. Trying to get jobs stressful. So it's just like it's a fluid situation.
So it sounds like to me that part of the reason you want to and have enjoyed spending so much time on Jasmine is because from what I just heard, it sounds like you were saying like life is stressful, which is, yes, that is very true.
Yeah.
And you've found a platform in LiveJasmin that is bringing you some joy and stress relief. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely.
What is it about Jasmine that you find that helps you escape your stress? I mean, there is the flirty and sexual content, but that putting that aside, because that's so obvious. What do you think? What do you think else is there that might be pulling you in?
I guess like another thing I would say is like, I would say like two of my like new favorite models, I guess that like have an argument for, you know, my favorite model, and like, you know, however deep in my head, it's like, um, they're Hispanic. And like because of COVID, like so many of us had like, we had so much free time.
Mhm.
And like the thing with me is like, I remember when I was in my first year of college, like, oh no, my junior year, excuse me, like I had these classes that like were pretty early in the morning. And I was just like, it was such a, excuse me, it was such a struggle getting up. And, you know, COVID hit, that like that semester finished, COVID hit. And then I was just like, I collapsed, you know, but like of my own volition. And I was just like doing whatever. Right. Um, but I would tell myself like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to, you know, just better my life. And so the thing with Jasmine, I would say like, to get to it, to answer your question, is like, I come from a multilingual home, right? And like the fact that some of my favorite models, no, not like, yeah, my favorite models, like the fact that there is kind of language barrier with them. Like in all seriousness, like it's made me want to learn a language like outside of you know, the languages I speak, and like it's just made me want to like, you know, befriend them. Like, you know, it's kind of crazy to say on one hand, because like you wouldn't think like, you know, like a person would want to do that on a cam girl site, but like, I don't know, it's just like, it's my experience.
Absolutely. And you know, I've been interviewing members and models, and I've heard that from both sides, that the
Mm,
relationship between model and member has inspired people to want to learn more about a culture or language or just better themselves in
yeah,
general. Do you feel like your experiences on LiveJasmin have made you feel more confident with women or taught you more about women?
I would say uh I would say the latter, because I had like some crazy experiences. Um like one specifically in a model, with a model, excuse me, in private chat, where like I kind of put her like in a, I would say, negative situation, you know. And it taught me like what um it gave me an insight into like how hard a model's job is, you know, just because like she could be in private chat and she could be trying to satisfy a customer, right? And like it's her job. Um, and I put her on the spot, and like it really taught me a lot about um it gave me a huge insight into like, I guess like, not I guess, but like what you shouldn't, you know, put a model through.
Mhm.
Um and and to answer your question, it gave me, I would say, um like a lot of knowledge about like women, and I guess like just, you know, women's how hard it is to be a woman.
Yeah, that's really, I mean, that's great because you
Thanks.
are still young, you're 23.
Yeah,
So this is a perfect time to start learning these lessons
yeah.
about how to deal with women or treat women. And so it's really nice to hear that your experiences on Life
Thank you.
Jackson have helped in teaching you those lessons. That's really cool to hear.
Thank you.
Do you feel like, for whatever reason, maybe yes, maybe no, you feel more comfortable showing different parts of yourself with the models on LiveJasmin that you may not be comfortable with in your day-to-day life, showing people that you know?
Yeah, I would say that absolutely. Just because like, I would say like one of the models that recently became, one of my top favorite models, like the fact that there isn't too much of an age difference between myself and her. Like we've started, talking, um, and the fact that there is the age similarity that there is between myself and her, like it's allowed me to be more comfortable with her, as opposed to many people in my daily life.
Very cool. So it sounds like you found certain similarities and bonding connections with her, that maybe you're not finding in your day-to-day life so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's very cool.
Thank you.
I'm glad. It sounds like you've had some positive experiences on the site. It's really great to hear.
Yeah, thank you.
I like to end the interviews by asking one final question, which is just what's something in your life that you're the most grateful for right now?
The fact that so I've been unemployed for a couple of months, and it's been tough on myself and my family. And the fact that I got this summer job, that it's it will allow me to really help significantly from a financial standpoint. Um, I would say that's the thing I'm most grateful for, because it's tough being unemployed, especially for like a substantial amount of time. So that's like, I would say that's the thing I'm most grateful for.
That's incredible to hear.
Thank you.
I'm happy
Thanks.
for you.
Thank
It
you.
sounds like you are just like well on your way to learning those life lessons that we all kind of go through. And I'm glad that Jasmine has been able to play a positive role in your experience.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you guys.
Well, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
I just want to say, like, I thought like the fact that like a really beautiful woman has like interviewed me, like, thank you. I just want to say that.
Oh, thank you so much. That's very sweet.